Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us today. My name is Kyle Goldstein. I'm a co-founder of Grave experiential marketing and branding company based in Winnipeg, Canada. We've been doing lots of work over the last couple of years with various Canadian tech companies and organizations, including Tech West Canada, who I'm here with today, along with the government of Ontario. So today we've got a great program for you. We have 7 different tech companies with us from across our vast, wide country who are going to be showcasing some of their innovations and achievements, as well as speaking to shifts they're seeing in global trends. We've got companies spanning many verticals, from IoT and wireless to last mile logistics and digital product design. Really runs the gamut. After we wrap up here, if you're looking for more information on any of our companies or to get in touch with them, you can find them all listed under the GSMA Thrive header at techdirectorycanada.ca. Of course, you can also find them within the Thrive app. Before we dive into things, I just want to make sure we thank our supporters and sponsors who make these events possible for us and all of our delegates: Tech West Canada, the Government of Ontario, the provinces of Alberta, British Columbia, and Manitoba, along with Tech Manitoba. So a few housekeeping notes. We're splitting today's session into 2 segments. The first one, which we'll get to right away, will focus on the latest trends in analytics, IoT and M2M, wireless and Wi-Fi. We'll have 4 speakers there from different companies, each speaking for 5 minutes, followed by a brief Q&A. And then after that, we'll get into our second segment, which will talk about global trends and technology solutions. We'll have 3 speakers there, again, 5 minutes each, followed by a Q&A. So if you have any questions for any of our presenters, please use the Q&A feature below. It seems to be that some people are in Zoom and some are within the Thrive platform. So just make sure if you're asking your questions in the Q&A or in the chat, you're doing it within the Zoom window, not in the general Thrive chat. That way we'll be able to see them and get to them in our different Q&A sessions. So now I'm going to turn it over for a few words to my colleague, Mauricio Ospina. He's here leading the Ontario delegation to Thrive. Mauricio?
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you. My thanks to the team from Tech West, representing the provinces of Alberta, British Columbia, and Manitoba. Here at Thrive, we have a delegation of 10 Canadian companies, 4 from the West, 3 from Quebec, and 3 from Ontario. Now, Canada is home to some of the world's largest technology clusters, which attracts investments from global businesses, including 10 of the largest technology companies. We have tremendous talent with close to 1 million tech professionals working in over 40,000 technology companies. Half of them are in Ontario, which is Canada's most populous province. Just in artificial intelligence alone, Canada has over 800 companies and some of the world's brightest minds in the sector. We are now the 6th largest cybersecurity innovation hub in the world by venture capital deals from 2016 to 2019. And as part of our national cybersecurity strategy, Canada is committing to invest over $500 million over the next 5 years in cybersecurity. Canada continues also to hit new investment records year after year. Canadian VCs put over $6 billion in tech companies in 2019. Last year, in Western Canada, startups raised over $1 billion. In fact, companies such as Bold, Vendasta, Coconut Software, and Atabotics have each raised over $10 million. Here in Ontario, we've seen an incredible growth as well. For example, in just 3 years after starting as a small company, Shopify now exceeds $30 billion in gross sales, with over $1 million located in 175 countries. The company now has $4 billion in cash at hand. This is just an example. And in 2018, Toronto became North America's fastest growing tech market, having added more technology jobs than San Francisco, Seattle, and Washington, D.C. combined. How many jobs was that? 82,100 and counting. So we have great innovation stories to tell, which have led us to many international partnerships. And today, 7 of the members of our Canadian delegation will share some of their successes. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Mauricio. So the first half of our showcase today has 4 companies speaking on the latest trends in analytics, IoT and M2M, wireless and Wi-Fi. Our first presenter comes from Merku, based in Waterloo, Ontario, specializing in smart home technology. Their Wi-Fi routers have won several design awards, including a CES award and a Red Dot award. Eric Ackner is the Director of Growth at Merku and recently won a Top 40 Under 40 award. He'll be speaking on how Wi-Fi will fuel the future of the smart home. Eric?
Thank you, Mauricio. Thank you in general for organizing this. We're really glad to be part of this here today. So I want to share today the innovation that we're doing at Merku to contribute our share in the world and the situation that we're in. And we want to build wireless innovation to enhance the life of billions, and so that we can move into a better tomorrow. 2020, I think for everyone has been a true roller coaster ride. Everyone had a good and bad experiences, surprising things coming up, new opportunities. In general, the lockdowns that we experience, and actually I'm based in Berlin, we're just facing another lockdown tomorrow. So we're going through this cycle again, different for people depending on where they're living. And it's expected that actually next year we will see a lot of business insolvencies. I mean, which makes sense, right? If the shops are closed, it's hard to keep the business afloat. And for businesses, this also means that CFOs or the people managing the place where you work are now realizing that work from home is here to stay. It is part of our new normal, and we can see that overall the data usage that we have in our homes is rapidly growing, which is putting a lot of pressure on those heroes, those telecommunication and internet service providers bringing the connectivity at home. And at Merku, we want to see how we can contribute our share, because we see connectivity is a force for good in the times that we're living in right now. We need it for telehealth, schooling, working. It is really a crucial part of our lives. That's why we want to make sure we can enable people, working at home, staying connected, but also learn about their health to know, what is happening. That's why we built wireless technologies like mesh Wi-Fi systems. We built Wi-Fi 5, Wi-Fi 6, and all of the software around to make sure that internet service providers hand it over to their subscribers and can make sure that right now, which I'm connected, have a seamless video streaming or work experience. And we're using this to build, for example, this award-winning device that we are, rolling out globally with internet service provider partners. It is very easy to mesh, to configure, and ready to future-proof the home connectivity. But even more futuristic might seem to you is wireless biosensing that we're building. You can see a little video here of how that sensor looks like in a standalone, but it's usually integrated into devices like automobile, for example. And it's really like magic. You put the sensor there and you don't need any variables on your hands, nowhere. As you can see here in the video, it's recording the breath and heart rate. And with this, we want to enable and empower now a lot of devices. You can see here, for example, our model holding the breath, and the sensor is very accurately measuring this. Why am I saying this? It's because we see global trends pushing to even better connectivity and even better health in our homes. And I want to introduce a couple of these factors that are pushing to this. Number one is ubiquitous connectivity, meaning being connected anywhere at any time, the silver society and health style. So let me show you a couple of stats that might be new for you. With ubiquitous connectivity, we mean homes that have 100+ devices, right? And Wi-Fi, in fact, will turn into the utility, like electricity or water, supplying those devices. So in our homes, for all kinds of use cases, increasing our security, feeling more safe, having better entertainment, save resources, there are now thousands and thousands of devices, with many of the devices, over 10 per person, moving into homes. And we can see that with smart speakers, we are moving more and more into the age of touch. The youngest generation, under 10, they are often referred to as Generation V. And we have also artificial intelligence entering our homes. But still, Wi-Fi is a bottleneck in our home, constraining this kind of development. On the second hand, silver society, and I think this is quite surprising. Like, people are getting older everywhere. And if you look at this chart, it shows how many 100-year-old people are there in the world. And this number is just, mind-blowing. And why is this important? If you ask somebody, what is important to you when you retire? They will tell you, I want to live independently in my own home for as long as possible. So we want to build that technology to enable this. I want to give this to my parents and my grandparents to make sure that they can live at home. And the health style is, the digital health market with telehealth growing right now. You can see a lot of money flowing into this. So it is a shift in the global market that is necessary. And with our wireless biosensing, we want to also pay our contribution, enabling devices that didn't have this feature, like consumer electronics or automotive with this. So as a takeaway, the message that I want to give you is, there are a lot of global megatrends pushing now for autonomy, not only in our cars, in the factory, but also in our homes. Our homes will take care of us, and we want to make sure that we build this technology. So we're open for collaborations. Please reach out, or please let me know if you have any questions.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Eric. If you want to find out more information about Merku, you can find them at merku.com. That's mercku.com. Our next presenter is Michael Gottlieb, CEO of Solas Power, based in Mount Pearl, Newfoundland and Labrador. Solas Power is a unique wireless power company with a wide range of power product solutions for self-install 5G CPE rollout. Named on 10 wireless power patents, Michael has led successful transformations in Fortune 500 and startup organizations. He served as a corporate strategist in several leadership roles, including at Motorola and its IPO spinout, Freescale Semiconductor. Please take it away, Michael.
Well, thank you for that, Mauricio, and thank you for TechWest too, and for inviting us. So Solas Power has invented something that nobody else has in the world, and that is a virtual tunneling technology that's both wireless power and wireless data enabled. So currently we're offering this in the automotive and aerospace areas, and now we're migrating that to medical and also into the IoT and 5G space. So why this space? Why good for wireless power? So as you know, you're at this conference, billions has been spent on spectrum. However, what's coming is a huge investment in the hardware. So you're going to see it around cities first, and then you're going to see the deployments in actual from your home to stadiums, smart cities, in the cars, etc. And that is to use the 5G spectrum that's available in order to bring us the services we want. So how the metrics though for each of the carriers and such will be measured will be how well is the coverage, of course, the speed of the rollout, and the installation costs, ultimately the user experience. So you heard maybe if you listened to T-Mobile earlier, they were talking about how especially millimeter wave at the top left here, you can see that the millimeter wave is actually, the signal is actually blocked when walls or windows get in the way. And so what's currently being offered is, you see from on the right-hand side, Verizon's trying to push out a wire underneath the window solution, maybe a little bit of a struggle for full implementation, but also others are using traditional methods of actually cutting into walls and drilling into walls and then installing all new equipment. So this is going to require a professional install, and in this time of COVID, that's a very big challenge. So what Solas is offering is a way to do the required or the desired self-install option. And so Solas is taking its patented, so we have 18 patents, we're taking this patented platform. So it's a hardware platform, both hardware and software, it's a physical transmitter and a receiver. And we can transfer power up to 250 watts and data right now up to 2.5 gigs. So in the environment of whether it's through wall or through window, and that is low E-glass window, Solas has a solution that has passed FCC and enables the distance that customer's desire. So even when you have a 15-inch or a 375mm wall, we can transfer power through that. So instead of just talking, you can take a look at our video on the Thrive booth, or I'm going to also show you a video here. And so what we're showing is we're powering through this nearly 375mm wall, and we're powering up to 48 watts in this case, because that's what the customer asked for. We're also able to use the same system into multiple types of walls and windows. And you can see the same amount of power is being transferred even through concrete or through a mixed mode wall, as you're seeing here. And we've come up with specialized tools in order to help find the transmitter on the other side. So on the right-hand side, you'll see we've got a window unit. And this window unit is plugged in. So it's plugged in. This is on the inside of the window in your house. And then easily somebody can come and self-install. These things don't need to be aligned. They can be offset and will still deliver the power and the data. So this is a low E-glass window. And you're seeing that it's figuring out right now what's the distance. And so we can go up to 50mm in low E-glass window. What's the coding on there? And then it'll deliver the desired amount of power. And in this case, it is 16 watts. So we're open to your suggestions as far as opportunities, and thank you for the time.
Thank you, Michael. That was Michael Gottlieb, CEO of Solas Power. For more information on Solas Power, you can check them out at solas.ca. Next up is Jack Marr, CEO at Star Solutions of Richmond, British Columbia. Star Solutions offers unique and innovative mobile network solutions for rural, WISP, private enterprise, and emergency communications. In 1994, Jack founded TELUS Technology, Inc., where he led a team of technology and network experts to achieve many mobile wireless industry firsts, including the first mobile phone call over an IP network infrastructure in 1999. He later went on to sell TELUS and spun off a business unit that would become Star Solutions. Take it away, Jack.
Okay, thank you. A little bit of introduction of Star Solutions first. If I can, oops, sorry. How about that? Okay, so we build mobile networks. We develop and manufacture here in Vancouver, Canada. We build both the core network and the RAN, which is the base station. So we basically provide the complete cellular network. But we do specialized markets, rural, remote areas. Typically, we provide these solutions to mobile network operators. We also do WISP, which is ISPs that instead of running fiber or cable, they can actually use the wireless technology to deliver internet service. Another market segment that we specialize in is private enterprise. So today, this is very popular. Rolling out enterprises rolling out private mobile networks, private LTE. And also another segment that we do is rapid deployment. These are for emergency, disaster relief, military, public safety type of application. Just give you some examples, like North America, for instance, we provide to the mobile network operators the northern part of Canada. Many of the remote communities. In the US, Alaska, about 250 remote communities is we provide the cellular network equipment for the mobile operators. But not only in North America, we do this around the world as well. Some example is Papua New Guinea, many of the remote areas. St. Helena, we did it a couple of years ago. Last year, we just turned up the Falkland Islands. We have Rwanda, we have many networks deployed. So basically, for rural and remote, we deploy it all over the world. Private mobile networks, we have deployed mobile networks for mines. We have deployed equipment for almost all the cruise ships, over 200 cruise ships worldwide. We do private networks for prisons. And a couple of years ago, we started doing intermodal on ships as well. And now we're more focused on providing private networks to kind of automate enterprises operation. Rapid deployment, we deployed it in many, many different applications. Military, in Afghanistan, many of the bases have our network. We supply to the police, US Department of Home Security, wildfire disaster management. It's a very, very small system, a very easy use that can be rapidly deployed. Now today, I'm going to share a little bit of a market segment that we do is private LTE mobile with kind of IoT M2M play. And so basically, intermodal is the solution. Basically, your containers, when you're shipping it, it goes from warehouse to a truck, and it goes to port, goes on a vessel, reach the designated port, goes on another mode of transportation before reaching basically the warehouse. So this is how it works, right? So, but however, many of the containers carry some very important content. So many times they actually want to measure, of course, at the minimum, the location, the temperature, humidity, the different gases. They also wanted to do maintenance, security. So all these things require sensors and control. And basically, the problem is with the intermodal, it's great that they're using cellular technology on the containers. So basically, while it's on land, you can get coverage. So you can actually get all those readings and control. But however, the containers, 90% of the time, they're actually at sea. So, so you cannot get any readings at all while it's at sea. So we came up with a solution that can be very, very small. It's a complete cellular network in a box, and it could be easily deployed. So what you see in the slide here is what it is. So basically about half a day, you can actually deploy it. And once it's deployed, basically we provide cellular coverage for the whole container ship. So basically all the container could actually report data, and also you can control certain controls and gases and temperature for each of the container as well. So just to give you an idea of the size of the market, just some interesting data. Vessels, there's about 6,000 of these container vessels around the world, and dry containers is 30 million. So that would be larger than the population than the mobile subscribers in Canada. And reefer containers, these are refrigerated containers, there's 2 million of them. And at Star Solution, currently we have about 500 vessels deployed so far. We also looking at other areas. So for mining, forestry, oil and gas, we had about 20 of this type of network deployed. This picture shows us like we got into the forestry recently. We're working in Canada with this. Mines, we have deployed about 15 mines, coal mines, and we provide above ground and self underground as well, right?
Thanks for that, Jack. So we just got to wrap, and can you want to do a quick wrap?
Okay, I'm done. So basically, forestry 4.0 is like that. We also do prisons, and agriculture is another industry that's looking at that, and we provide the connectivity.
Awesome. Thanks, Jack. So if you'd like to find out more about Jack's company, Star Solutions, you can check him out at starsolutions.com. Next up, we have our next presenter is Dr. Alberto Leon Garcia of Streamworks AI in Toronto, Ontario. Dr. Garcia is a distinguished professor at the University of Toronto and is here to speak on advances in 5G and wireless.
Hello, it's a pleasure to speak to you today. Streamworks provides software to apply analytics and machine learning to big data to deliver real-time intelligence to assist in decision making. Let me give you a context as to where our product comes in. Imagine or consider a software application And the delivery of the application involves multiple activities that occur at different levels. For example, you can examine the activity at the level of the user, at the computer process, the files and registries, the devices itself, or the IP traces. And the point is that all of these behaviors are interrelated. So you can study these in terms of graphs, and in certain settings, depending on what you're interested in, you can gather probes in terms of measurements of the various types of behaviors, and you can apply analytics to discover the typical behaviors, and in particular to discover anomalous behaviors. Now, the magic in being able to handle multiple streams is that in settings, for example, such as cybersecurity, an attacker can take an effort to hide the traces at certain levels, but it's impossible to hide traces in all the levels. So if you have the ability to consider all of these different types of probes, you're able to identify this anomalous behavior. So what we do is we have software. Our differentiator is in terms of the performance and efficiency of our software. Our software is able to perform real-time analytics on streams of monitoring data. And this can be used in real-time applications. I'll discuss applications in a couple of seconds. We have been compared in tests and labs, in tests, in bake-offs with customers, and consistently we come up close to 100 times better in terms of performance relative to the preferred existing approaches. And in particular, the area where we really shine is when the streams of data are coming at you fast and furious at rates of several 100,000 events per second and billions of events per day. As I said, one of the attributes of our software is that it is very efficient. It results in very low compute footprint, and this enables real-time streaming for volumes of data that were impossible to handle before. It also makes it possible to take streams of raw data and capture these, store them, and then be able to come back with them, and using our accelerated processing, be able to do forensics and retraining. This type of software, if it's applied at all, is typically done on the cloud to get the economics to be able to amortize the computing required over a large number of users. But our software is so efficient that it can be deployed, of course, in the cloud, but as well on-prem. And our software has already been deployed in several settings. In telecom operator settings, in one setting, we collect all of the network flow information collected in a network, and we're able to identify loss of internet service within a minute, and greatly increasing the time that's available to the operator to mitigate losses of service. We can do so in terms of identifying the location where these take place, as well as the type of application, that is Google service, Facebook, and so forth. Our software has also been used in cybersecurity settings to identify anomalous behavior. In one deployment, we've taken all of the monitored data from all connected customers in a cellular network, and to monitor these and identify anomalous behavior in real time. In another setting, we combine multiple levels of process and network information in a government agency to make their attack detection performance much higher. We're working with service providers in terms of developing software-based DPI to provide better customer visibility. And if you're familiar with the role that's anticipated for machine learning and analytics in 5G, edge computing, and IoT, our low footprint makes our software quite feasible for that. The low compute footprint allows us to reduce the return on investment, to increase the return on investment in terms of our product. The software is modular and designed to be easy to use and customizable to the customer so that it reduces the time to production and market.
Thanks for that, Dr. Garcia.
Thank you.
We're now going to throw it over to my colleague at Tech West Canada, Giuliano, for a quick Q&A session.
Hi, everyone. For some reason, my video doesn't start. Okay, we did have some questions coming in the Q&A. Fortunately, Michael and Eric were able to answer them live to the guests. So I guess we can just skip that for now, Kyle, and move on with the presentations and the cases.
Thanks, Giuliano. So our next presenter up is coming. He's going to be the first one in our final session. We have 3 companies for this one who are at the forefront of global trends and technology solutions. So first up is Michael Austin, the Director of Business Development at Equilibrium, a digital product design and development studio based in Vancouver, British Columbia. Michael comes from a digital product and brand strategy background where he's developed client businesses for over 20 years. He's worked on both the client side and agency side, growing businesses with scalable strategies and measurable impact in the UK and across North America. Take it away, Michael.
Thanks, Kyle. And thanks everyone for joining us today. So as Kyle said, we're based here in Vancouver, BC, and we are a product design studio. So we help our clients solve complex business problems through a balance of strategy and design and enabled by technology. And we execute that across web, but more importantly for today, mobile and IoT. So we're here today to learn about all the great technologies that are going to come into play for us, but also to talk to you about one thing that we're bringing to the market today as well. So as we all know, customer and employee experience is being very challenged right now. And we wanted to see if we could solve that or at least help that. And we are bringing to market a product called Wavetech. Wavetech is a global leader in queue management, capacity management, and appointment booking, also in feedback systems and self-service kiosks and so forth. So really the idea being to help get rid of all those lineups that we're experiencing now and keep our employees and our customers safer and happier. There's a phygital side to this, everyone's favorite word, where we can bring in kiosks that are mobile enabled and allow customers that maybe aren't as mobile savvy to take that physical ticket, but also the system allows chat integration with WhatsApp and also SMS and mobile integration to allow for multi-channel queue management and capacity management. There's also an employee backend system, which allows your employees to manage the queue and appointment directly, to call customers in, be it waiting in their car at a safe distance or in a lineup outside of the business. And as I said, there's omni-channel kind of updates. So you can inform your customers about their progress through the queue, either through screens in premise or through WhatsApp or SMS notifications as well. And obviously the tool is not only about improving the employee and customer experience, but by improving business performance. So there is a full spectrum management dashboard with BI and analytics to allow the business to enhance performance and and ensure that they're improving their productivity in these difficult times as well. So some of the main benefits, obviously, for the system, the social or physical distancing that we're seeing today, this helps manage that better by removing some of the more primitive methods of tape on the floor. We can get rid of those long lineups outside of a building by allowing people to stay comfortable in their car or to go to different locations and be notified on various ways that their turn is up. We can also collect all the data around our customers, who is visiting us, how long are they waiting, so that we can look at how to improve service and also to integrate with other data services such as loyalty programs to give our customers a better experience. It's very fast to deploy out of the box, can be up and running in less than a week, and very low cost for businesses to be able to help improve that experience. Obviously, more happy customers and safety and better staff productivity. And the system is API based in the cloud, so fully customizable, can be integrated into existing apps or websites or other experiences. And lastly, just to wrap it up, a new product coming out from Wavetech is the ability to help forecast and improve employee staffing and hours and optimization of business processes. So not only will you be able to manage the capacity in the queue, but you can also now help predict what it will be in the future and to better plan your staffing around that. And that's it for me. So thank you, everyone.
Thanks for that, Michael. If anyone wants to find out more information on Michael's company, you can head to equilibrium.com. There's an A before equilibrium, it's equilibrium.com. Next up, we have Rob Graham. He's the CEO of Genwave Technologies out of Mississauga, Ontario. They specialize in RF and wireless engineering. Rob is here to talk about partnering with Ericsson, the worldwide leader in 5G technology, as the primary field engineering partner in Ontario. Go ahead, Rob.
Hey, thanks, Kyle, and thanks everybody for the opportunity to be here and talk a little bit about what we've been up to lately. Some really, really exciting things happening at the NWC Thrive, and even some of the speakers today. It's quite exciting. We're more of the background folks. So we're an RF engineering firm that also does the construction, the build, the technical, and keeps things working. So the specific opportunity was, we'll cover off in a few of our slides here. Wireless solved. Everybody deserves great wireless, and no more than any other time in history than today. Just a few of our clients and a few case studies. In this continuum of design, build, and support, we've been very, very fortunate to work with a couple of key clients. One is Pearson Airport here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And we have 30 to 40 active projects going on at any given point in time. A real international port. Another kind of indication of some of the things we do, private radio systems for mining. This particular crane, loader type thing, is absolutely massive. Those little black dots in the bottom right-hand corner are large SUVs, just to give you a sense of scale. My daughter said it was like something out of Star Wars, and we're going to operate those with a private radio system. Another little example is a case study of the ice storm we had here about 6 years ago, where everything shut down. It went just a massive freeze. The airports are sliding into each other. And this was along the lines of where I was going with the story, but we had to design, build, and implement with the major carriers here in Canada a small cell constellation of LTE, 4G of the day, in an operating environment at the airport in 6 weeks. It was a bit of a challenge, but it's doing things really in an uncommon timeline or an uncommon situation is what we've tried to create with our team. Public safety, DAS upgraded, distributed antenna systems, so making the radios work for the first responders. Similar sort of thing. We had to upgrade 155 nodes in, again, a 6-week period. 4 separate first responder groups, and it was done without complaint. So really proud to be involved in that. Our island airport downtown, we had a few, some private radio stuff. A lot of these things are, you know, a little deep to get into in the few minutes we've got. Mining, private LTE, and 5G. And Jack, you and I should probably talk offline. I know we met at another US show a couple of years ago. Good to reconnect, but I will reach out after the show. Public safety, grid testing, other public safety, some things that, you know, probably aren't as appropriate for today. But the main one was the deployment recently that we had to do, where we took our run rate of our normal scale of projects, and in about a week and a half, we had to scale up for about 10 times that. And it was recruiting and logistics and vehicles, communication protocols. The team did an amazing job, and we pulled it off, and it was a home run. We were really, really proud to be part of it, and and have a successful outcome. So in summary, we're the guys kind of in the background, in the back shop, or our engineers are designing the stuff to make it work. Our other team goes out to build it to make it work, and then our technical team shows up to make sure that it keeps working and delivers on the investment over time. Again, thank you very much for the opportunity. This is very exciting. Appreciate it.
Thanks again to Rob. If you're interested in learning more about Genwave, head to genwave.com. Last but certainly not least, we have Elder Matthias, CEO of Mighty Oaks, hailing from Victoria, British Columbia. The Mighty Oaks platform provides an end-to-end e-commerce solution, including automated delivery and pickup lockers. Elder became the CEO of Mighty Oaks in 2013, and since then has been leading the initiative to be the leader in e-commerce and last-mile logistics software. Prior to joining Mighty Oaks, he led the integration team for a $150 million particle accelerator facility and has been active in control software for power generation. Elder, please take it away.
Thank you, Kyle. So on the screen, you're basically looking at a photo from the CES conference down in Las Vegas earlier this year. And this is one of our partners, the Hussmann division of Panasonic, where they launched their new refrigerated and frozen locker solution for last mile logistics. What's interesting about this is the actual embedded software, the cloud platform that runs all of it is our Mighty Oaks platform. So we partner with Hussmann and others to provide a platform that retailers, airlines, logistics operators can use to address that last mile issue of getting products to their customers. In this particular case, these are refrigerated and frozen locker compartments for the grocery channel, which has an assortment of other challenges in terms of remote monitoring of refrigeration equipment to ensure that it's operated in compliance with food safety and other standards. And we see that showing up in other areas and other verticals that we service. But we kind of go beyond just the lockers that are at the last mile to the process of delivering the product from distribution to the lockers. So our software platform can be deployed into the network to manage the driving fleet, the drivers taking the product to site. We tie into route optimization engines to determine the optimal route to deliver product to the customer. So this provides an end-to-end solution to handle that last mile piece of allowing a retailer to connect with their customers in new ways. We've also deployed our solution with other locker manufacturers into non-refrigerated markets. In this case, it's been retailers that are looking to have product available at store that they may not be able to justify having on the shelf, reduce the queues and the lineups at customer service counters for customers to pick up product. Initially, deploying these systems were driven by retailers' desires to improve customer experience for their consumers, reduce labor costs, but increasingly in the last 4 or 5 months, what's happened is retailers that have adopted these solutions and deployed these systems have discovered that customers, the general public, are looking at them and perceiving them as being leaders in the market in terms of addressing the immediate needs of COVID and lockdowns and the response to all of this to really find new innovative ways of getting product to customers using our automated software platform. So in this particular case, this is one of the retailers in Costa Rica that deployed our system and gained an enormous amount of press and coverage in the local market where they trade in for being a market leader by putting this type of technology in play. And our platform is very modular. So what happens is smaller retailers will come to us and take our e-commerce portal, they'll take our customer care order management portal, some of the integrations we have. In other cases, we have larger retailers that have those parts of the solution already solved by other systems within their ecosystem, and they're coming to us for locker management or one of the other parts of the puzzle that may not be addressed by the existing technology that they have in play. So we have a very modular approach, a very flexible approach to how we deploy and integrate into an existing retailer or logistics operators network. So it's everything from the consumer-facing e-commerce piece to the back-end logistics management piece. And what we're now seeing is increased desire by retailers to put this technology closer to the consumer. So we're seeing an interest in putting these types of lockers powered by our software and our platform into apartment buildings, into transit hubs to provide a mechanism for picking up groceries or picking up orders on the way home. All of this is all connected over 4G, 5G networks. So it's a very innovative solution in allowing consumer retailers to expand their footprint and better relate to consumers on a direct basis. Happy to answer any questions that, that you may have, and now I'll turn it back to Kyle.
Thanks a lot, Elder. You can find out more information about Mighty Oaks at mightyoaks.com. As Elder mentioned, if you have any questions for him or any of the other speakers today, please get them in right now in the chat. We've reached the end of the showcase now, so we're gonna bring Giuliano back once again, who has some questions that have popped up. Giuliano, please take it away.
Thank you, Kyle. We have a question for Rob from Genwave here. From your perspective, Rob, working with big companies, I know you've worked with IKEA, Cisco, AWS, and Ericsson, as you probably know. Did you see any particular challenge those companies were struggling with during 2020? I mean, we're living in a complete different world now, and I was wondering if you did have something to add to the conversation there.
Absolutely, it's a great question. We spent a lot of time early on with exactly how we could do the things that we're doing with, you know, sort of a first view to be safe or have our people safe, and of course our clients and the job sites that we go to. So we spent a lot of time working with Ericsson, our clients, the carriers, and our teams, and adopted protocols. First stage was anybody that had anybody at risk at home was just, you know, go home, be with your family, we'll figure this out. And as they adopted, you know, separate protocols to make sure that they would keep their family safe, we brought them back into the fold. But it's been a journey. A lot of our clients are healthcare or long-term care, and for the longest time we were just stand down, stay out. So we're
by the way, did Ericsson
Julie.
participate in that project in the airport?
I'm sorry?
Did Ericsson participate in that project that you mentioned in the airport, or was that another company?
That was another company. Sorry, that was another company. That was Bell and Rogers, our two primary carriers up in Canada.
Got it. Okay, thank you. Going back to the previous session, we had a question to Michael from Solas Power. So Michael, if you could join us here just for a little bit. Your company works with wireless powering solutions that can be used for several purposes with 5G, obviously, but it can be used across several industries. And it seems to me that it can be used to enhance IoT capabilities. So correct me if I'm wrong here. If this is the case, how will it enable different use cases in the foreseeable future?
Sure. So our type of wireless power is different than maybe what you're familiar with, say like with your phone. So because we're able to help installations be achieved in places that normally couldn't be achieved, such as taking a camera as an IoT device, having a Wi-Fi camera or 5G camera be installed on the other side of a wall or window or what have you. It's more around lowering the cost, enabling this infrastructure to go out more quickly and at a lower cost. So as far as new use cases, we build an intelligent system that can handle, it understands, say, like for cybersecurity, when it's not operating in an optimal mode, so it's drawing too much power, that could mean that it's being attacked by a cyber threat. So there are various use cases, but it's an exciting time for sure.
Got it. Okay, thank you. Eric from Merku, if you could join us now, just for a brief time. We've seen a rise of tech in the health space, and we know that Apple, Samsung, and so many others are trying to deliver products to help people understand their health state. We have the Apple Watch and so on. But it's all devices, and it's something that you have to wear ultimately. Will wireless, since you work a lot with that too, will wireless technology be able to free us from devices, if you will, and is wireless a part of this game in the near future?
Yeah, it can be way more ubiquitous and non-invasive, right? You can actually check your health without even being aware of it. So just imagine you're sleeping at night and you have maybe a bed light next to your bed that is then checking your health. Then you leave your home, you sit in your car, and while you're driving, your car is then checking your vital signs, and that information is then shared with each other to make sure we have a complete health picture. Even though we forgot charging maybe our smartwatch or any other device. So that's how we see the future, because these technologies being non-invasive is much easier and much more comfortable for us to use. And it can actually also replace video cameras, right? You don't want to have a video camera, for example, checking your vital signs in your bedroom, in your bathroom. So this wireless technologies is actually much more useful for this.
Absolutely, and sleeping with an Apple Watch isn't very comfortable. So yeah, there's that too. All right, Kyle, back to you now.
Thanks for that, Giuliano. Thank you to everyone, all the attendees out there, for coming to our virtual version of a Canada Pavilion. Once again, I'd also like to thank our supporters and sponsors for making this possible. Tech West Canada, the Government of Ontario, the provinces of Alberta, British Columbia, and Manitoba. Tech Manitoba, I'd also like to do a big thank you to our delegates for presenting today. We had Merku, Solas Power, Star Solutions, Streamworks, Equilibrium, Genwave, and Mighty Oaks. If you'd like to get in touch with any of these companies or find out more information about them, of course, you can check them out in the Thrive app or head to techdirectorycanada.ca. That's techdirectorycanada.ca. As this was actually the last session of the first ever GSMA Thrive North America, I hope you all enjoyed the show and had a great week. My name is Kyle Goldstein of Grape Experiential. Have a great weekend. Stay safe and be well.